How you doing, folks? So, welcome to a different version of Mark Talks To. This is actually the two dyslexic chefs make Christmas. Now, I'm not a chef. Nick is. So, as you all know, I've interviewed Nick, and he's the author of this fantastic book, Dyslexic. There you go. So, we're going to be taking nearly all the recipes out of his book, and my other book is The Umbrella Girls and the Three People, written for children who are dyslexic. So that's our two books. So what we're going to do is we're going to help you with Christmas. The idea is to help you with Christmas. So if we get a few things wrong, don't blame us, okay? This is the first time we're doing it. We don't have a full camera crew. Jamie Oliver is sitting over there in the corner just giving a bit of advice. But
Mark,
everything else we're doing ourselves.
Yeah. Mark, let me tell you, the best chefs get things wrong. It's what they do with those mistakes that matter.
Exactly. So what we're doing today's two things we're doing is one of my favorites, first of all, which is prawn cocktail made from scratch. And this brings me back to my childhood. And the second thing we're doing is something Nick is trying to introduce me to. I've never tasted it. It's Brussels sprouts and Marmite. Now, I like Bovril. Marmite, so I've never tasted it. So Nick, you wrote the book. Right, you wrote the book. So why don't you kick off and tell us what we have to do?
Right, so today we're going 70s in honour of my good friend Mark Biggs.
We're going 70s is right, yes.
And I hope you got a nice sharp knife because it's essential. But one thing I would like to point out, I don't normally cut myself, and amazingly, this week, I'm opening a vacuum-packed pack of oxtail. And I'm saying to myself, don't be stupid. You're going to cut yourself. I cut myself.
You cut yourself. Okay, well, I'm using a normal knife now. I know you said, are you going to show us a few things about prawns? So just because I'm based in Ireland, say a few things. I buy my prawns from Holt, and they're in a 700 grams bag, which is €10 from the fish places in the Holt, and there's loads of them. It's a fantastic fishing village. If I was to buy the same prawns cooked and peeled and all in the supermarket, it'd be €20, double the price. So, and I think as Nick and I said a few minutes ago, we prefer cooking them from scratch. They taste much better. So
absolutely.
So as I'm throwing mine in, I'll just tell people, and then Nick is going to show you a few things about the prawns. I just usually put a bit of salt. There's a bit of salt, and then in goes the prawns. That's it. So we're going to, while that's doing, Nick's going to be telling us about. You've a few different types of prawns there, Nick.
Well, I have. I've got these small prawns. I like the small prawn. You can see it. Small prawns. They're actually from a packet. They seem to have quite a nice texture and quite a nice flavour. Then going up from there, I like to have a different type of prawn as well, slightly larger. Again, this is supermarket, and they are cooked. You can tell they're cooked because they're not clear, opaque, greyish white colour. They're firm, and they're very much orange and white,
right,
or pink and white. So,
and what's the price of prawns like in the UK?
It's exactly the same as you're saying, Mark. If you went to our local fish shop, if you bought cooked prawns, it would cost you almost twice as much. But there's no reason why you can't buy.
Yeah, they're fantastic. And you put them in the water is already bubbling away, and put them in.
Exactly. Now, what I'd like to point out at this stage is a couple of things. Firstly, that's your prawn.
Yeah.
If you want with a prawn, you can literally break off the head, spin your hand around the shell, just pulling the shell off. Just pull it all off. And I don't know about you guys, but I like to leave just the tail on.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is if we're doing like a prawn cocktail, we want that hanging on the glass. It looks fantastic when it's cooked.
It does, yes. And I remember I went to many years ago. I went to New York for a trip, and they put me staying in the Plaza. And I was after doing a long trip from Ireland. I was hungry. I ordered their prawns. And their prawns were like that around the glass. But Nick, they were so big, I expected them to walk out of the glass and go and leave the room.
I had a similar experience again in New York as a child. I was with my parents. They ordered some prawn cocktails, room service, because we were there late. And in I have never seen prawns like it. Out there, I think they call them shrimp.
That's right, yes.
And I have to say, I was blown away. I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Right, I'm just testing mine. There's still a few minutes to go before they're done.
Now, when you're while you're doing that, I'd also like to point out there's a vein inside this prawn.
Yeah, that's important because a lot of people don't understand about this. They don't know how to vein them. They think it's hard. Show us how to do that.
I will show you. I'll show you 2 ways of doing it. Now, the important thing about that vein is it actually it's a poo tract. So basically, it's got all the things that the prawn wants to get rid of. Sometimes you take a vein out of prawn and it's completely clear because it hasn't eaten anything or it's just got rid of what it was eating.
Right. Okay.
Another time, it can be.
It's usually dark blue or something. Or
black,
pink,
yeah, kind of black color. Now, I'm sticking a cocktail stick at this point. Can you see that?
Yeah, come a bit closer. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Yes.
Into the prawn, and I'm just going to raise it up very slowly through the flesh, and you'll see I've hooked the vein.
Oh, right. Okay. Very good.
And if you hold on to that with your hands, just very gently pull, you've got it. Take it out, discard it.
Fantastic. And again, just say to people, if that seems like too much work, you can buy them the veins.
Yeah, right, exactly. And what they also do, a lot of companies will put their prawns into fresh water and they actually get rid of everything they've eaten, so you don't need to devein it. But there's also another way of doing this, and I'll show you that now. So you've got your prawn again, head. Take the head off. Now keep these heads. Keep the shells of your prawns, because if you boil that up with, say, a bit of white wine or a little chicken stock.
Oh yeah, very nice.
Yeah, you can make you can not only add it to your sauce or your prawn cocktail, but you can do all sorts of other fabulous things with it. So important to keep those.
While you're talking, I'm just checking to see is this one cooked. Yeah, they're perfect. So while you're talking, I'm gonna throw the water out of this.
Okay, now what I'm going to do is show you that you can cut down the back of the prawn all the way to the front. It's a technique called butterflying the prawn. And so if we take it, make sure it's firmly on the work surface or your board, cut all the way down. And then you just lift with the point of your knife that vein up and take it away. Just pull slowly and gently, and it will come straight out, and you discard that.
Fantastic.
And what you're left with, and when it's cooked, it looks quite nice. Now you're left just like that. See? Split.
Brilliant.
And then you just cook that. Again, I leave the tail on because I don't know about you guys, but I get really fed, especially Mark, I'm sure you have this. You go out to eat.
Yeah.
You're in a restaurant and you look at your plate and you see these most fantastic prawns, but they got their shells on. They got the head, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But one thing. You've got a hot dish in front of you, and now you've got to take off the shell and get yourself covered in tomato sauce. So what I like to do, and this is cooked, I'll leave the head on, I leave the tail on, and I take out the shell in the middle.
Oh, right, okay.
Split it, take out the vein, and there you have something really attractive and very easy to eat. You just pick it up, pull off the head, and pop it in your mouth. And that's absolutely delicious. So it's a very good idea and a very good thing to think about. You don't have to keep the head on if you don't like the heads, but at least if you've got the situation with no head, here we are, a prawn with no head,
Very in the mouth.
just fine.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to mention that.
And you're right, because when we go to Spain, we order paella, myself and my daughter, and you have the lovely prawns come fully, still dressed in the best finery. You're thinking, oh, right, it's hot. How do I get this off? And you're messing around with it. Where you really, all you want to do is eat it as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. And if you're like me, when I go out with my family, they all go, "Oh, Dad, can you do the prawns for me?" And I sit there for half an hour doing everybody's.
So I have my prawns cooling now to cool them down. So that only took a few minutes. Now, the other thing that people will find hard is, of course, the sauce, Nick.
Oh, the fabulous and famous sauce.
You and I were talking about this, and you put an ingredient in that I didn't, and I used to use mustard. But we're going to go through your recipe of the two of us building a sauce.
Simplest, we absolutely will. The simplest thing in the world. I'm just going to quickly wash my hands after touching the fresh prawn.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. And the camera's still following you. I'll tell Nick earlier on. I've one of those things, the camera that follows me. But I was doing something in the garden last week, doing a video, and as I was talking, the camera went off in a completely different direction. I had to run after it to get myself back in the frame. As soon as I got back in the frame, it went somewhere else. I think it was following a bird or a dog.
It could have been worse. Right, so I like to just get a bowl, a little small bowl like I've got here.
I have a small bowl here.
Nice small bowl. Let's go for a bit of mayonnaise. Now, I like to use a famous company's mayonnaise. And I got
Lidl, because I use some of the Lidl stuff because to show people that you don't have to spend a fortune. So this was only 90 cents.
Was it?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, only 90 cents. Says real mayonnaise. Better than that other brand. That's what it says here.
Okay. Well, it always depends how many people are you making it for.
Yeah.
So with your mayonnaise, we're making for one or two people. Yeah. So let's just squirt some mayonnaise in there. It's approximately 3 tablespoons. Oh,
that's exactly what
I love doing this, Mark. Ooh.
Yeah, that's why I have this even on many times at night time. I just do my prawns and have them with the Mary Rose sauce on brown bread, sitting in front of the TV. Nothing is good.
Delicious.
So what's next?
Tomato sauce. Now I've got tomato sauce in a bottle, and I wish I had it in a squeezy just like you've got. But here we go. Squeezy. I'm going to attempt to get just 1 tablespoon out by doing this. As you can see, not successfully at the moment. No. Come on. And you give it a bit of a shake, hoping it's not going to go everywhere.
Just let the people know at home, we've edited this. This took an hour and a half for Nick to get that sauce out of the bottle.
It only took an hour and a half, but I had to get changed because it went all over me.
It'll be the longest Christmas dinner ever.
I'm going to now add, as I need to, a little bit more mayonnaise because, as you can imagine, slightly more than 1 dessert spoon came out. Yes. I use this little sauce. It's called a sauce.
Oh, that's very posh.
Do you know what? These are not very expensive, but boy, are they great for gravies and they're great for stirring. So well, give that a nice stir.
I use an old-fashioned thing, folks, called the fork.
Yeah, I used to do that as well. No, I still do. And you'll see that your sauce is now a beautiful colour. But I like a bit of a zing, and it's good at this point to add a little bit of Liam Perrins.
Yeah, now, I have a bottle here that isn't open, actually. Oh,
mind your teeth. My father lost a tooth by doing that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it's a long story, but he told my wife, don't open a bottle like that. So he went and took it and did it himself, and his tooth came out. There you go.
Well, it's funny. Sometimes in mine, because I didn't have this, I bought this again from Lidl for 90 cents.
Brilliant value.
I put French mustard, or to give it a tang sometimes, I put Tabasco sauce in.
Do you know what? All those things are wonderful. There's a green version of Tabasco sauce as well. and that's absolutely fantastic. So,
Right.
you know, you could really experiment with the flavors that you and your family love.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many squashes of this?
This is a teaspoon, and being a chef, I'll just give it a bit of a shove. Oh yeah, that's a teaspoon.
Okay, just a teaspoon.
And we mix all that together. And at this point, it's very important to take a spare teaspoon. And you're always tasting your food, but we've got to taste it just to make sure it's nice. Oh my God.
Oh,
That's the
that's good.
best I've ever tasted,
Yeah, I'll
Mark.
probably need a bit more of this in. Hold on.
I reckon this tastes so good because I'm doing it with you.
Yeah, let's see. Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic.
Brilliant. How are your prawns doing? Are they still hot?
Yeah,
Or?
my prawns are now. My prawns are now done.
Great, but we don't want to put them in until they've cooled down a bit. So the next stage, if we just put our sauce to one side, we're going to be doing the lettuce. Now, I
Yeah,
like.
I don't have that, and you're going to ask me why.
Why haven't you got this, Mark?
But I had it yesterday, Nick. But I have two tortoises in the house, and someone went and fed my lettuce to the tortoise.
They ate
And
your lettuce. They ate your ingredient. You're lucky they didn't eat your prawns.
there would have been more now. There would have been more. But so go ahead. Tell us what you're going to do.
Right. Well, you take off leaves that it first comes with, and I like to chop a bit of the bottom off as well, which I've already done. Take off the first leaves, and then cut off what I'd call a cheek of lettuce. So you cut straight down, and you're left with that.
Right. Okay. Right.
Which is fine. And then we're going to do a technique called, well, the French call it a chiffon or chiffonade. And we just
We call it a, we
can
call
you
it the
see?
nick. We call it the nick cut over here.
Yeah, you just cut it really finely, and you're just trying to make little tiny cuts of lettuce, which are really quite look pretty. Because the idea is it's cut finely, it looks nice, but it also we want it mixing up with our prawn cocktail as well. And I don't like
Very
to
good.
use too much of this lettuce.
Yeah, because I've been in some places years ago. Now I haven't got prawn cocktail out in years, but I remember some place you go into, you need to be giving out because we'd be more lettuce and prawns and more lettuce and
Yeah, in the old
days.
days, absolutely. In the old days, you'd go into the local steakhouse or something, and you'd have your prawns. You could bet your life there was about 3 inches of lettuce, the prawns, few prawns on top, and that was it. Well, the lettuce didn't have anything. It had no seasoning, and it was just lettuce. So it really didn't add too much to the dish. But what I like to do is to mix it up. So not only save some of your lettuce to one side.
Oh, you're going to mix it with the sauce?
I am absolutely going to.
Okay, very good. I didn't know that. Okay.
Because I want the texture of it. I want the flavour of it. And to be honest, there's absolutely no point having it just in there.
Okay, very good.
So I'm going to bung a handful of lettuce in with my sauce. I'm then going to get. How are your prawns? Are they okay?
They're all cold because I had them under cold water. And
brilliant. So
I've got two different things to put them into either. I got an old brandy thing. If you like for Christmas Day, if you want to make it look special on the table.
Love that. I love that one.
Yeah, and we can do the same here by putting them around the corner if we have to. Yeah, we can do the exact same thing. So it's a brandy tumbler. And the good thing about these is, I know this one was probably expensive, but most of them now you get 6 of them maybe for 20 or 30 euros.
That's what I'm putting mine in as well.
Fantastic. That's going back to the 70s and beyond.
It is. And talking of the 70s, I'd just like to make a toast here, Mark, to the Galloping Gourmet. One of the greatest chefs.
Oh, happy coffee. Oh. My mother gave me this. It was my granny's cup.
He was the most fantastic guy. I loved watching him on TV.
Who was this? Sorry.
The Galloping Gourmet.
The Gallman Gourmet. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, maybe it was an English thing.
Yeah, because I remember like the one I remember is Flyed.
I mean, I was only a kid. I got to tell you, I would have been about 8 years old watching cookery programs at 8 years old. It's kind of weird, right?
Oh, well, like I used to look at them as well, but I used to look at the man Fried, isn't it? The one that used to have the glass of wine with everything. He put one thing in a glass of wine, two things in a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
it's fun, right?
it's great fun. So what do I do with my sauce?
I'd like to add a handful of prawns to your sauce. Boom.
Directly
Now,
into the sauce.
because just add it in. I hope if your bowl's not big enough, just change it to a bigger bowl. But because it's Christmas, I'm going to put another handful in.
Right, brilliant, brilliant.
And because it's Christmas, I'm going to put
more
the
in.
rest in.
Yeah.
Because at Christmas, what we want to do is bulk out these prawns.
Yes.
I'm even putting the larger prawns that I bought straight in there as well. Nothing wrong with that. And then give it a stir and get everything covered. But Mark, sorry, please reserve a couple of your prawns, if you can, for decoration.
Yeah.
Afterwards. Give it a stir, and to be honest, it looks absolutely fantastic. But just to make sure, take your spoon, a clean spoon, and fish out the prawn. I mean, this is what being a chef's all about, trying your own food, and try it just to make sure it's good.
Now, here's the problem with that. There's one big problem with that. I'll do this, but it'll be very hard for people to stop me having more.
It's like a bar of chocolate.
Oh,
you
that's
open
fantastic.
it. Good stuff.
That's
right?
really good. That's really good.
Great.
Now, you've frozen on the screen a bit.
I have. I
No,
have
but
indeed, and I have no idea why, Mark.
But you're still talking.
Okay. Is that good? No.
No, you're still frozen.
I don't know why.
Sorry, folks. Nick has frozen. So the easy thing to do here, Nick, right? So, folks, we're gonna take a break this here and come back. If you just give us 2 minutes, hold on, Nick. Just give me 2 seconds. Just give me 2 seconds. So we're going to take a break now here, folks. We're back. Sorry, folks. Nick had to run away to fill up the bottle of wine and get more prawns. and also, I was eating all these, and so I had to start all over again. Anyway, so Nick, I have my spoon. What do I do?
Right, now, take your...
I've tasted it. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, mine's good. So now we're going to put our prawns carefully into our glasses. We want it to about, I suppose, 2 centimeters from the top, if we can do that.
Okay.
And don't worry about getting it on the side. We can always tidy it up later.
You just saw me do that, did you?
No, I just did it myself. So,
you folks have to imagine there's lettuce underneath this, but there isn't for me because my tortoises have eaten my lettuce.
You said your daughters, didn't you? At one point, I thought you said tortoises.
No, I did say tortoises. There is my tortoise.
You got a tortoise?
Yeah, my son has 2 tortoises, and they ate my lettuce.
Oh my God! You said wow.
No, my daughters have all flown the coop.
Now I've gone far too high with mine, and don't worry about that because I just get so carried away with what I'm cooking. Sometimes it just goes like that. But well,
yeah.
Fill it up, and we're going to now decorate it. So if you've got a tiny bit of lettuce left, that's okay. You can always stick a bit of that on top just to show that there's a bit of lettuce in there. I don't care, it's fine. You know, a bit of lettuce here, a bit of lettuce there, just to give it a little bit of a change. And then another really good tip, and I don't know if you've got any of this, Mark. I think I mentioned it. Smoked sweet paprika.
Yeah, I have ground paprika. Is that okay?
Ground paprika. Okay, well, be careful because the difference with the paprikas are the smoked sweet is not powerful as in hot, as in a chili type heat. And the smoked can be not hot at all.
Right, so
It
I'll just
depends
put a
who
fair
you're
bit on
doing
the
this
spoon.
for. If it's children, I'd go for the smoked sweet paprika, and otherwise you can just use the paprika you've got. It's quite
Yeah.
a nice colour, isn't it? And
It
we're
is,
just
yeah.
gonna sprinkle that in the middle
So
of each one, just so it looks good, you know.
yeah.
And then when you've done that, just knock it off your hands. And then with the prawns you got left, what you're gonna do is make it look as attractive as possible. Just because we're talking Christmas here, and at the end of the day,
mine are falling off the side.
don't worry about that. If they fall off, they fall off, and that's nothing. That's no problem because we can stick them in the middle.
Now, that's what mine looks like to finish with. How's that, Nick?
Like what?
If I was one of your trainees, would I pass? Have a look at that.
I like it.
You like it? Oh, one's gone.
So there's no real. I think, Mark, the tip that I can give here is quite simply. You've got a situation.
There's no right or wrong.
Because if you split the back, like I did, butterfly it holds a much tighter curl.
Right. Okay. Right. So maybe the next time I'll slit some of these before I put them in the hot water.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good tip, Nick. I never thought of that. So that's what I'll do in future. I'll slip the side there. But still, if I put that on the Christmas table for people who like prawns,
absolutely fabulous.
Then my dad used to love this. My dad used to love Christmas Day. Christmas Day was my dad doing all the cooking. Because that's fantastic. That looks brilliant, Nick. Really nice.
So we've made a 70s prawn cocktail just that little bit special.
Yeah.
We've made it taste great from the top all the way to the bottom of the glass. And that's something great for Christmas.
Yes, absolutely.
My wife and I will be enjoying this later.
Well, see, the thing is, I'm the only one here that eats prawns.
Oh.
When I was growing up, we all ate prawns. And then when I got married, Amri only likes a few fishes, doesn't like shellfish. And then Christmas Day in our house can be anything from 18 to 25 people.
Wow.
Amri does all the cooking. But over the years, we just go straight to mains because it got to the stage only 2 people at the table like prawns.
Right.
And so but like this was something that my dad used to love these, and I used to go to Italian restaurants in Dublin when I used to work, and even used to work at the car ferries. God, I used to love this type of stuff. Are you still there? I think Nick has had a problem again with his controls. We're going to get Nick back now in a second. Right. So that's our prawns done, folks. Very easy. Very, very easy. So, Nick, this is the one I'm dreading now. Right? And just so you know, now, probably a few tips on this, Nick, and you can tell me if I'm doing this wrong. I've already done my made the Brussels sprouts. However, a lot of people think, how do you take the skin off? How do you cook Brussels sprouts?
So, absolutely, good point.
So I'll show you how I do it, and you tell me if I'm wrong, because you're the chef.
I'm very interested. You might do it a much better way than me, so let me definitely have a look at that. I'm just making a little bit of space.
Yeah, I'm going to say it.
Fantastic, right.
It's a bit embarrassing, Nick, that Jamie Oliver's sitting over there and he won't even help us clean up.
He's sitting there eating your prawn cocktail, isn't he?
Yeah, well, that's Jamie for you. So, there's the Brussels sprouts. What I usually do is just, where's the top? I cut the top here, and then take the top layer off.
Yeah. Me too.
And it's that simple, isn't it? People worry about how do you cook this. It's that simple.
Yeah, and if you cut the bottom off, you'll find that a few layers drop off when you're cooking them anyway.
Yes, yes.
How do you actually cook yours? Do you boil them or do you steam them?
Well, I boil these, but we have a steamer that we use once a year. We
At
we we, we
Christmas.
got to put it in when we bought when we did up the house, and it was very expensive. Everybody said, "Oh, you do all your steaming one day a year, the 25th of December." That gets switched on, and I do the carrots and the Brussels sprouts all together in the steamer.
Yeah, fantastic. No, I do a steaming as well for a lot of my food. Moreover, I don't use the oven for the steaming, although apparently it has that function. I use a bamboo Chinese steamer.
Oh, right, okay,
Really cheap to buy.
right,
And you
okay.
can get them in different sizes. They last fairly long. Really, under £20, you can get 2 tiers, and you only really need 2 tiers. And stick it on top of your pot on your stove, steam away. No
Are
problem.
these the same bamboo things you see in Chinese restaurants now with the dumplings in them?
Absolutely. Let me just get one down.
Right, okay. I didn't.
Here we are.
Oh,
Just
I see.
bamboo.
That's a brilliant idea, isn't it?
You can cook it in tiers, but obviously the first tier will cook quicker than the top tier. So if you've got Brussels,
Yes.
you could put them here. And if up here you've got, say, mange tout or something that is not going to cook as slowly as the Brussels, it goes on. It goes on the next level. So really, it's just common sense, really. But these are fantastic.
They are. Yeah, they're really are. And the other thing to say to people is, like cabbage, you put the Brussels sprouts into cold water. Am I right? Yes, and boil it.
I put them into cold water. I add a bit of salt. Always add a bit of salt. But what I also do with mine, and I've got a few here that haven't been cooked as well. I cut off the bottom just like you've done.
Yeah.
And I've always put a little cross, just 1, 2 cuts at the bottom. And for years I thought, it makes no difference. Why do that? It makes a difference when you're steaming them because the steam goes into that root and cooks it at the same sort of speed as the rest of it.
Very good. Okay. Very clever. Okay.
I don't think it makes too much difference if you're boiling them.
Right. Okay. But I never heard that before. Right. Okay. Good idea. I can see the logic behind that, and then yeah.
Also, at Christmas, if you're religious, you got a cross on every Brussels sprout. So there you go.
Next of all, you'd be saying we can put a cross in the turkey.
Yeah.
And that's another thing to say, folks. We won't be cooking a Christmas turkey, but Nick will be going through how to prepare a Christmas turkey and have it right, and the timings in one of our videos. And we'll also be showing you about ham, how different ways to cook a ham. We'll probably show 2 ways to cook a ham and how to put stuff around it. So that's coming up in another episode. So because I know a lot of people too are worried. I see them in the butchers all the time. How long do they put the turkey on for? How long do they put the turkey on for? And they're scared. They're scared.
Do we put the stuffing in the turkey? Do we put the stuffing out the turkey? Is it just unsafe to put stuffing in the turkey?
Yeah.
Well, it's not unsafe if you do it the right way, and we'll be talking about that.
We will, absolutely. And I don't think the turkey's in your book.
The turkey's not in my book.
No,
because I've only got 25 recipes in that specific book, but it could come out in another book at some point.
Yeah, and Nick and I are going to do a fact sheet to help you plan your day that you'll be able to download from one of the videos, to be able to download and give yourself all the timings. Like we do it here because we have so many people. And like with me, if I get my glass of wine, Anne-Marie will never see me again. So we'll have a time in the morning for the turkey going on, the ham, the different things, and the day beforehand.
Even one stage further, because preparation's everything. And if you can get a few things ready the day before, and there are some things, you can certainly peel your potatoes and put them in water so that they're ready. Yeah. And get all your vegetables ready. So long as they're underwater, they'll stay fresh.
And we do a ham the day beforehand. I think that sometimes the more things you have done the day beforehand, on the day itself, you're not stuck in the kitchen while your guests are in the room. You actually can mingle.
Yeah, because you're there to enjoy Christmas as well. It's very important.
Well, it's like when you go to a wedding, the bride and groom will see bits of it. and I missed the best part because of getting photographs and all taken. The same on Christmas Day, you'd end up at the oven all day.
Well, I have to put on my Santa costume, you know. I am St. Nicholas.
Well, you have the beard.
And I think I've got a few other things as well. But
I'm not allowed to say that. So, I have my Brussels sprouts.
And your Brussels sprouts, like mine, I think are cooked, aren't they?
Yeah, they are cooked, yes.
So we've boiled them, and there's a little point about boiling. You don't have to boil Brussels sprouts until they're squidgy and just kind of lifeless, really, because the more you boil them,
mine isn't that squishy at all.
Great. The more you boil them, the less goodness there will be inside those Brussels. If you're steaming them, then the goodness stays in. But I think it's always nice to have texture and firmness. My mother, bless her, who's no longer with us, liked to boil everything until it was, well,
look,
unrecognizable.
I know a butcher. He's gone now, and his son told me that he used to cook meat till nearly that you had to call the fire brigade. Different people do different things. So
different people like different things. Let's put our Brussels into a bowl, which is a medium-sized bowl, really. The reason we're doing that is because we're going to add Marmite. Beloved Marmite. Unlike you, Mark, I absolutely adore Marmite. It can be added to so many things, and there's a few little tips for everyone that I'm going to give them now. Right. Give it a good sniff, Mark.
Yeah, I know. How much do I do with this?
A teaspoon of Marmite should be a nice big teaspoon. You know, I mean, I'm talking about
a tablespoon or a teaspoon.
Teaspoon.
Teaspoon. Okay.
And we won't go for we won't kill anybody with a whole tablespoon. And you often have to use 2 teaspoons because it's a gooey, sticky, treacly type.
It's more gooey than I thought.
Yeah, sticks to everything. Now with Marmite, you can add them to your roast potatoes. Very similar to yeast, isn't it? And it gives you a beautiful flavour. Some people use the word umami. It's not a word that I particularly like, so I just like to say it's absolutely scrumptious when you add that.
It's fortified with B vitamin, so it's a health food.
Oh yeah, and Brussels as well. What could go wrong with it?
What can go wrong is right, yeah.
But I'll tell you something else. If you make pies, like I make a lot of pies, and I love a beautiful colour over the top as well as flavour. Take a bit of Marmite, add it to your beaten egg, and brush that over the pie. It won't give you a strong Marmite flavour, but it will give you a little bit of something special. Right. Let's mix this up.
You want me to mix it up?
Be gentle if your Brussels are a little bit soft. But we want to mix it all up. Now, at the same time as, or take a break slightly from the mixing, we're going to put our hob on and heat our pan.
Oh, you want to heat the pan up? Are you putting them into a pan?
We want to just heat the pan so it's warm.
Do we put any oil or anything on the pan?
Well, okay, we're talking about frying pans. I'm using a frying pan which needs to be heated first because it's designed to be heated and then the oil added. I think all pans need to be heated first because the metal, although we think it's not porous, warms up and closes down and then add the oil to it.
Oh, right. Okay, that's interesting because I always add the oil first. I never knew that. Okay.
I always used to as well, but add it afterwards. There's less chance that it's going to burn and it's absolutely fine to do that.
Right, okay. So I'll just take my oil out there. I won't put it on. Yeah, waiting for my pan. My pan's here on. So I'm just waiting for that to get hot.
Yes. You let me know when yours is hot and we'll add the oil together. I'm just going to get some butter because...
No, you know what's happening here. You know
you're following me around the whole house. Have a look at this. Beautiful butter dish that my wife bought me. It's very nice of her.
Oh, that's very nice. I'm going
to be adding some butter to my oil, but not yet. Very much in the same way that we add it to when we're roasting potatoes. The beauty about adding butter to oil is the butter doesn't burn.
Right. Well, I have the oil ready, so I'll add the oil now.
Me too.
Do you add much or just a small bit?
Oh, give it a good enough splash. Almost covering 90% of the pan, really.
I'm listening to him. I don't know what it's like over there, but the wind and the rain is building up over here. And
Well,
so
we've got the rain, not much wind at the moment.
we've got a lot of wind here now.
Now we want to put in a decent. They say knob of butter. I never really know how big a knob is because at the end of the day, it could be all different sizes, couldn't it, Mark?
Right. So you put. Okay. We don't use much butter here, so you want a knob of butter gone in as well.
Yeah, and it's basically the size, I would say, of a dessert spoon size, and it goes into the oil and will start melting straight away because that's hot.
Yeah.
Now just give it a little shake around because in a few seconds now, when I can hear mine bubbling now.
Yeah, mine's bubbling away. The other way you can hear mine as well.
Empty your contents, your Brussels, and everything that's in that bowl will now go straight into your pan.
Right.
And that should start sizzling. I like to add a bit of seasoning at this point. We haven't used it with our Mary Rose sauce or our prawn cocktail because it wasn't necessary with all the things we added that had salt content as well. But a few turns of pepper.
Pepper, okay.
And a sprinkle of salt over the top. Now we don't need too much salt because that Marmite also has can have a salty content there. And we're doing okay.
Yeah.
I haven't really moved my Brussels too much. Bring it up to a heat. I mean, my heat goes 1 to 9 and then slightly further. I've got it on 8 because
I have mine on 8 as well.
I want to hear this sizzle.
Can you hear that?
I can hear it. Can you hear mine? I think it's time for another drink, Mark. Cheers. To the Galloping Gourmet. So it's really, really quite a ferocious heat there. When you see the oil with a bit of now brown because it's got some of the Marmite with it as well, it will start to go syrupy. And when it starts to go syrupy, we can start turning our Brussels in the pan.
When it goes syrupy, say that again to me. When it goes syrupy, what do I do? We
turn our Brussels so it kind of gets covered.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Oh, one come out.
Yeah, just we're looking for that to reduce. Basically, it's like reducing a sauce.
Right. Okay. And this is the first time I've ever done this, folks. I haven't done this before. This is my first time. I like Brussels sprouts, and my daughter loves them. And even with a bit of bacon thrown in, bits of bacon, or bits of lardons. But I would never have thought of doing this.
I hope you're not going to spit these out, Mark.
No, no, this will be good now.
How are yours doing? Mine are getting there.
Yeah, look, I'll put them up.
Nice. Oh my God, yours look better than mine.
Oh, thanks for that. Well, you're the master. I'm only the pupil.
No, it's always something that I like to talk about. You can be there are chefs, but there are not necessarily chefs that are great cooks. There are cooks, and there are some great cooks. So
yeah,
just because you're a cook or a chef does not make you any better than the other.
And they all have different skills. They all have different skill sets.
I'll tell you what, mine is starting to get somewhere, but slowly. Make sure they don't burn, of course.
Yeah.
My wife will be pleased. she's got prawn cocktail and Marmite
Well,
Brussels for lunch.
tell you, that's the longest period of time a prawn cocktail has stayed looking at me without me eating it.
Oh, it looks great. We want that. It's amazing how it does go quite sticky. But as I said, keep it going. There is some water that comes out the Brussels, but they're coming really, well, really nicely now. So,
and tell me, is it possible if someone has doing a load of stuff to have these done the night beforehand and then shove them in the microwave, or would you always recommend doing them fresh?
Could you repeat that? Sorry, because of the sizzling.
Yeah, if you have a load of guests, and you want to do them the night beforehand, would you do that and then bung them in the microwave, or would you always do them fresh?
Ah, now that's a very, very interesting thing, and I've got a confession to make. I like frozen Brussels more than I like fresh, and I don't know why.
Nick.
I don't know why. I don't think they're any less healthy for you, but it's the consistency. I just love them, but I always tend to cook fresh, and you could definitely prepare them the night before. Just put them in a pot with water. There's absolutely no reason why you couldn't. I don't think I'd microwave them because for me, I have to test them with a knife constantly.
Yeah.
To make sure it's actually
well, there's mine now.
Correctly. Now I've turned the heat off now.
And that's what mine looks like now.
Yeah, they're great. Just continue to roll those Brussels around.
So have you turned the heat off completely?
I've turned it off completely. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my Brussels out. I'm going to put them into the dish that I want you to have them put down to the table or displayed on the table. I must say they do look great.
You're going to take them out now, okay?
I mean, I don't know about you, Mark, but don't you think they smell fantastic?
They do. They really do.
Now, at this point, and once you've got them out, there's still some sauce in the pan.
Yeah, I was just going to say to you, what do I do with it?
Pour it over the. Just pour it over the Brussels, over the top of them to give them that little sheen.
Okay, fantastic.
And that's it. And that's what we've got. That's what I've got there. Can you see that? Okay, Mark.
Oh, very nice. And that's
lovely. And now, of course, as they say, the proof is in the Brussels.
The folks, I've never eaten this before. I've never had these before.
I'm going to eat mine and watch Mark very carefully. I think that's delicious.
Like, there's a lingering taste. It actually is much nicer than I thought it was. They're actually nice. Not
a strong Marmite taste at all, is it, Mark?
No, I was expecting, because I know Bobble, I used to have Bobble as a kid, and my mother would make me a Bobble drinking a flask on days like this going to school. But these are very nice. They're nothing like, I was expecting a very strong taste, and they're not.
Not at all. It would be ruined if we had the strong Marmite flavour. But what we get is this fabulous yeasty type of Brussels sprout mix. And I personally think that actually elevates the humble Brussels sprout to something special for Christmas.
Yes. Well, I'm going to try them this year. I'm going to do 2 lots. I'm going to do the normal lot, and I'm going to do this lot. And I know what's going to happen. My wife's going to say, you can do it yourself because we have too much to do, right? So I'll do this for some people because I'd be interested.
Do what I do, Mark. Don't tell your guests. Let them eat them and say, wow, these are fantastic. I love them. And then hit them with,
And the good thing is, Nick, none of my family will look at this video because I'm on it. They might look at it because you're on it. They might look at it. So they won't know. And just to say to people, that recipe is in Nick's book. Now, I don't know what page is on. I'll
tell you what. I've got an interesting page just here, which is me with a fish on my head. that people
That's a fantastic photograph. Fantastic photograph.
often enjoy.
Yeah, that's a brilliant. So they're in that book, folks. That's brilliant, Nick. Well, that's
Sorry, Mark, I've got to have another Brussels. I don't know about you.
No, I'm going to have my prawns, Nick. I'm going to have my prawns. So,
Well,
so folks, a big thank you to Nick. And as I said, they're in this. We're going to put this up on both our YouTube channels, and we have a new YouTube channel called Food Mad that Nick and I are putting recipes up as well. And we're going to just build it up over time and hopefully help people, especially for Christmas. And as I said, we're going to put together, Nick's going to put together a timetable of what to do come up to Christmas and stuff like that, and even suggestions of things to buy because to have in the house, so you're not like some mayonnaise, like tomato ketchup, just to have it there on the day, and you can be buying that stuff now, so your shopping bill isn't huge near the day. Isn't that right, Nick?
It's absolutely crucial. You're going to have a great time. I think if you've enjoyed this and enjoyed being with the two of us, the least we could have done is make people smile a bit there.
Well, there's two bald-headed chefs.
Yeah. Well, oh, we're very modern.
Two dyslexic chefs making food for Christmas. And as I said, my other book is out for Christmas now. And episode 1, 2, and 3 are there. The Umbrella Girls and the 3 People Forever. If you have someone, the interesting thing about this book, folks, just to plug it, is all my proofreaders are dyslexic. Most of them are dyslexic. And this is the first book they've ever read. And you can see that the way the page is done, I've spaced out the words and all to make it easy. Because being dyslexic myself, I find it very hard to read certain books. I'm reading the book at the moment from Jeffrey Archer. He's one of the few people in the world I can read in a day or two, because his writing and his face, and he doesn't do it on purpose. But other people I cannot read through no fault of their own.
Mark, there's a very good point here, and I'd just like people to know this because it's very important.
Yes.
When you design, as you've done and as I've done, a dyslexic book, doesn't make it a dyslexic book just for dyslexics. It makes it a book for all people. And
and that's important. You're right.
All people to enjoy it. It is very important. Yeah, so it's all inclusive.
And even though this says dyslexic, this is something everyone should have on the shelf. And Nick is right. And same with my book. Any child, neurodiverse, neurotypical, anyone can read them. I've just written a bit, and so has Nick, in such a way that we encompass everybody, as Nick says. So we haven't excluded anyone who maybe they don't read quickly, maybe they're dyslexic. We've included everyone. That the book is available for everyone, neurotypical, neurodiverse, whatever, it's there.
And that's what life should be, and that's the way we're all going at the moment. It must be all inclusive.
Absolutely, it's the only way. It's the only way to make things work. Nick, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, Mark. Always great to see you. Great to cook with you. And
just to say, folks, one of our next recipes coming up is something which I haven't done either. I love Yorkshire puddings. Nick loves Yorkshire puddings. What he's introduced me to Yorkshire pudding and cocktail sauces. Isn't that right, Nick?
Yep. It's something I did some time ago. Just threw them in. It's fantastic. It's basically, let's face it, toad in a hole with a bit of bacon wrapped around each sausage. But, well, for Christmas, it's just that little add-on that makes it a little bit easier, believe it or not.
And it's not extra work. You're right. It makes it a bit just something for people to talk about around the Christmas dinner, around the table.
Yeah. Right. Pour in your gravy. You can put whatever you want in that Yorkshire pudding with the sausage, and fantastic it will be.
That's brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, Nick. Thanks a lot. Talk to you very soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, folks.